Hi, everyone. It's Adina here, your host of the Immigrant Finance Podcast. I'm so excited for today's episode. Let's talk about learning to receive support. Ooh, this is a big topic. This is a big topic for your personal life, your relationships, your career, your finances, your business, your building wealth journey, all of it. It's a huge, huge topic. This has been something, full disclosure, I have struggled with a lot, and a lot of our business coaching students have struggled with, particularly women, right? As women, we are really taught to always put others first, always help others. It's kind of part of that narrative of being a good girl, all of that. And we're not taught to receive support as well as to give support. So that is something I only really started to learn about as a concept once I began participating in business coaching myself. And one of my coaches pointed out the need for that and saw how impactful it was. And it really has been a big shift for me. And I think something I'll always need to work on. But this is important because there's very little impact that we can make alone, and there's very little success that we can have by doing it alone. We really do need support in order to reach our goals, to move forward, to make a difference, to help other people, to build something great. So let's talk about that. And by the way, if this is something you struggled with, or continue to, would love to hear about it. I'm always interested in learning more about this topic. So go ahead and shoot us a message on Instagram. It's the easiest way to connect at immigrant.finance. And yeah, let me know what you think of this episode and this topic. So, a little bit more on, why we need to receive support. So, we are social creatures. We are not meant to do things alone. If you think back to, like the hunter and gatherer days, we were always in a tribe, we were always with others doing things as a group. And that is fundamentally who we are as humans. We are social creatures. We have had quite a spin around that concept with the pandemic and the isolation many people have gone through, the quarantines. So it's definitely been a time for a lot of us to, I think, reflect on that balance of like alone time and being with others and getting support. But when it comes to actually building things, building a business, building a project, really trying to create something where you're helping people and making a difference, we do need to receive support. And I learned this the hard way because, and this really goes back to a lot of the mindset we talk about in this podcast for immigrant families. Um, I have always, my whole life had that idea that I have to work really, really hard. And a lot of that I learned later in life and through exploring this topic comes from my own family's immigration history, with them struggling a lot. And right, my great grandparents coming here, fleeing for their lives. They were refugees and being extremely poor for generations, right? And having to just work really hard. I know a lot of you are going through that and have seen your parents go through that and are experiencing it yourselves. And we're just taught, we got to struggle. We just got to work hard. The way to success is working hard. I also know a lot of you who I talk to have done that successfully and have reached success, but you're not seeing your money show for it. You're burnt out. You're not being valued enough or paid enough in your jobs and for the amazing work you do. So I think a lot of us have been realizing that that recipe is actually not one for success and not sustainable, to just work so hard and struggle all the time and try to do everything alone. So that is all I knew for a very long time, for most of my life. And only through starting a business and getting coaching support did I learn that there's another way of doing things, and that the doing it yourself, working really hard approach isn't very effective. It isn't going to get you very far. So when we started Immigrant Finance, this whole time I've been working a 9 to 5 job where I'm an immigration lawyer. I have an amazing program and team in that world, where we work to improve the immigration laws. We do impact litigation. But even when I started that in my career, I was doing it all alone. I was doing all the cases myself. I started that program by myself. I was doing all the fundraising myself. I was doing all the media engagement myself, everything. And I was able to make a pretty big impact and create something great, but I was burning out and I was working all the time and I was exhausted. I was working nights and weekends. And it got to a point where it's like there's you can't take it any further because we only have 24 hours a day. So actually, in my business journey with starting immigrant finance separately and learning how to start a business for the first time, I had no idea. I've been in nonprofits my entire career. I started learning these concepts about how that's not very smart to try to do it all on your own, and that's not going to help you make a lot of money, and that's not going to help you build something sustainable and great that can help a lot of people, right? Um, we need support to be able to create things and make an impact. So I've learned that over the years in both my career, immigration law nonprofit work, and also in the business development for immigrant finance, that we need support, we need teams, we need to be part of a team. We need to not have all of the burden on just ourselves. And this applies to as like in family, being a mother or a parent. I know a lot of you out there are parents and like doing so much, working multiple jobs, doing all the childcare, like making all the meals, doing the bedtime routines, everything. And it's exhausting. And like in that area too, we need support. So I want to talk about 4 areas where you should think about where you can get support and some steps you can take. So family support, business support, system support, and team support. And a lot of this is going to be specific to starting a business in case that's something you're thinking about, or maybe you're not thinking about it now, but down the road, you might, and having this knowledge could be helpful so that you don't waste a lot of time trying to do everything your own and working really hard and burning yourself out, because the last thing we want is for you to not be able to fulfill your purpose because you burn out, because you did this the wrong way and you tried to do it all yourself and that you hit that limit, right? Um, so yeah, first family. Getting support from family is critical, right? Especially if you have kids and childcare and all of that. So getting support from family to help with childcare. Just example we're having now. Feel extremely grateful and fortunate that Mao and I are about to go on a trip to celebrate 10 years being together. We haven't done a trip alone together for more than like 2 or 3 days since we had our daughter, who's now almost 3, and there was the pandemic and all that. And Mao and I are both big travelers. We love traveling. We actually, met when I was living abroad, and he's lived abroad in multiple countries. I've lived abroad in multiple countries. So, that's been kind of missing from our lives and our relationship. And we decided to try and make it happen. And we were really fortunate that his parents were actually willing to come from Ecuador for a month to spend some time with us and help out, and also watch our daughter while we go on this trip. So that is just so incredible that we get to do that, and we're very, very fortunate we've been able to do that. But there's smaller skills ways you could do that too. Like send we send our daughter to daycare 3 mornings a week now. For a while, Mao was leading all the childcare. We were splitting it while we were both working, and it was just crazy. So getting some support has been critical to give us some more time and space to work on other things. Um, it's very tied to investing in yourself, because especially with childcare, it's such a hard debate. Does it make more sense? Is it more cost effective to just do it yourself rather than pay someone else to watch your kid, right? So that's a whole other conversation. And if anyone wants to talk about, let me know. But yeah, investing, we ultimately are investing in ourselves by getting some support with daycare so that we can work on growing immigrant finance and helping more people, right? It's an investment. So that's a way of getting support. And then just, supporting each other. If you have a partner, if you have siblings, cousins who can help you out when you need it, leaning on people for support is so critical, because it can get so hard. Life's challenges can be so hard, and it doesn't have to be so hard. that's what our family and friends and loved ones are there for. And so please lean on them when you need them. And it gives people, meaning too, to be able to provide support. So I used to have a really hard time asking for support, or receiving support from loved ones, because I wanted to be strong. I wanted to do it myself. But I learned over time that that actually makes them feel good too, to be able to give it. Right. And so I had to work on being able to receive it. And it's the exact same thing, same concept with receiving support with starting a business. So let's talk about the next of the four areas, which is business coaching support. If you've listened to the episode, you may have heard me tell this story a couple of times. I'll just sum up quickly that the first time I worked with a business coach, I actually delayed it for a year because I had never invested in myself, and it was a significant investment. And I couldn't justify spending that kind of money on myself. I never spent money on myself more than maybe like, getting my nails done or going on a trip or something. And I told everyone else I knew about her that they should go work with that I knew to go work with her. And I was like listening to all of her free content all the time, her podcast, her social media lives, and getting so much value. And she actually helped me start the idea for immigrant finance. This is Amanda Abea, by the way, of Make Money or Honey. She's incredible. Check out her podcast. But she helped me kind of come up with the idea, and I wasted a year not really moving it forward because I was scared to get the support to invest in myself, and I needed that support. I didn't know how to start a business, and I was all up in my head and my fears and my doubts. So I wasn't getting anywhere, and I do regret that. That's one of the only things in my life I regret, because I could have helped a lot of people during that year that I wasn't able to, because I was too scared to invest in myself, and I was too scared to take a leap of faith and get support and receive support to create what I was meant to create. So that was a huge learning moment, and ever since then, I did a year later invest in getting that coaching support. That is the only reason Immigrant Finance was started. Um, Having that accountability every week of a business coach and working with other people in group coaching who are starting businesses and seeing them take action. It's very, very powerful. I love it so much that we now have actually our own business coaching program called Illuminate Digital, where we offer that to people as well. We have group coaching for business development. And if you're interested, the next cohort is starting September 27, 2022. If you're listening before then, you can apply, by the way, at www.illuminatedigitalacceleраtor.com. So yeah, so business coaching has been huge. I since I've seen the impact it had on me, I've continued to invest in business coaching. So I now work with several different business coaches on different topics who have been so impactful. It's always a big investment, but it's always so worth it. There's a saying that whatever investment you make in yourself comes back tenfold. Like the return is way higher than you could ever get in the stock market, because the best bet you can make is on yourself, right? With the stock market, or even real estate investing, you're really depending on external factors and conditions to get your return, right? You have no control over what's going to happen in the economy. Um, and but with yourself, at the end of the day, you're the only one who can control what outcomes you get. And by making a bet on yourself, it's the best bet you can ever make, right? So I've continued to do that after learning this lesson, working with several coaches and learning more and more to receive support. And it's probably saved me 10 years. Like there's so much I've learned, both personally, spiritually, mindset wise, and in terms of business strategy, that I think would have taken a lifetime to learn, that I was able to learn very quickly by doing business coaching. So that's basically a way to collapse time to reach your goals faster. And if you're interested in that topic, we actually have an episode I did on collapsing time. I'm just looking up right now which episode it was, in case. There you go, episode 135. Check that out if you want to hear some more about how to collapse time. But coaching support's an excellent way. And this could be any topic. If you're not interested in starting a business, getting coaching support on your health, on your finances, on your relationships, like any area you're struggling, getting support is huge. It's just going to get you where you want to get faster. It's a way to collapse time. And that's what investing is for, right? It's a way to collapse time because the only thing we're never going to get back is our time. We can always get more money, we can't get more time back, right? So that's the second one of learning to receive support is with business coaching. The third area is with systems. If you do start a business, it's going to be really important to build systems. Otherwise, your business is going to be a mess, right? It starts to get more and more complicated as you grow, as you start making more money, as you get more clients. It starts to get complicated, and there's a lot of administrative things involved that can take you a lot of time and take away from the time of what you should be doing and why you started the business, which is to help people, which usually looks like, actually delivering your product, actually doing the work that you're offering. So if you get bogged down in all this administrative work and dealing with messes and fires in your business all the time, it's really hard to stick to that mission and have the time for it. So systems are a way that you can streamline and reduce that administrative work. You can automate a lot of things. That's one of the things I'm completely obsessed with and a nerd about with online business is there's all these amazing softwares. Many of them are free actually, where you can automate various parts of your business so that it's more effortless and just kind of works seamlessly so you can focus on what you're meant to be doing. And there's also systems that you can build out in your business just to make things like organize, have like a workflow, also to build consistency in the business. Like, for example, with your sales processes, having systems allows you to have more consistent cash flow because you can like know and expect about how much you'll be getting every month and make investments based on that. And then be able to pay contractors and build a team because you have the money coming in. All of that, it all comes down to systems. So that is another huge area to get support in if you do want to start a business or if you already have a business and it's feeling a bit messy. I will say most small business owners do not have good systems and they're just dealing with fires all the time. Um, I've heard people say it's just like a big dumpster fire, right? And that is very stressful and not a place I personally want to be living. I mean, many of us start businesses because we have a big dream. We want to help people. We want to make an impact, right? And we want to work for ourselves. So that starts to not become the focus when your business is a dumpster fire. So please do think about systems and receiving support to build systems, whether it's through softwares or through business coaches who can teach you how to build the systems, or even just investing your time and allowing yourself to receive support through education on how to build out a business. Lastly, team support. Oh, this is a big topic. Okay. Also, something, if we go back to the beginning of this episode, I had to learn the hard way, starting with my immigration law work, building this impact litigation program. Like I said, I was doing everything myself. I was doing all the cases and everything myself and working all the time. And I learned actually through the business coaching I've done for immigrant finance that you really can't make an impact very far by yourself, and that it's critical to have a team and to empower a team and support them to be doing work from their gifts and talents and integrating their what they want in life and their purpose into your business and how they can contribute to your business and growing together as a team. It's a beautiful thing, because then you can just make such a bigger impact and help so many people. And otherwise, if you just stay in that place of doing it all yourself, which most small business owners do and don't know this, you burn out and it's not fun anymore. And you're working all the time and your business just becomes another cage for yourself. Um, so think about the importance of building a team. That's something we've really been prioritizing in immigrant finance as much as we can. So we have been investing, almost all of the proceeds of immigrant finance and our coaching and courses work into building a team and being able to pay team members to contribute and be part of it and help build what we're building together, right? So it's really, really powerful. And I would just encourage you to think about that as well as a way to receive support, because that's what it ultimately comes down to, is allowing yourself to receive that support from team members. It can be really hard for a lot of business owners to trust others to help out in their business when they've been doing it all themselves. But that ultimately just kind of comes down to like control. So if you can find a way to let go of some of that control and be willing to invest in training and supporting your team members, you can together just do amazing things. I hope this was helpful. These are, in about 20 minutes, some of the most important lessons I have learned over the past few years. So I hope it is of service for you. If you have found this episode valuable, I would be so, so grateful if you could take a quick moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts for us. It really makes a difference to be able to reach and support more people with the algorithm. So thank you for considering, and let us know if you found this helpful. Shoot us a message on Instagram at immigrant.finance. We can't wait to hear from you, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.